A forgotten piece of footage made its way back onto the internet recently, and it stopped people in their tracks. Someone visiting a modest chapel had been filming a calm prayer gathering when their lens gradually settled on a statue of the Virgin Mary. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until everything changed. With no warning at all, the statue's eyelids began to move. Slowly and unmistakably, those eyes opened and stared directly into the camera. They held there for several seconds before gently falling shut once more. And for the man behind the lens, that single moment was all the proof he needed that something spiritual was dwelling within. In the video that follows, a mom named Aaliyah is filming her daughter right after the little girl experienced a night terror. Her daughter has been going through these episodes for several weeks, and according to their pediatrician, it's a fairly normal phase for kids around her age. But on this particular night, Aaliyah wakes up to find her daughter in her bed, sobbing harder than she ever has before. It appears this was the worst night terror the child has ever had, so intense that she bolted straight into her mother's room. Wanting to document it for the doctor, Aaliyah starts recording, and that's when something unexpected happens.
I'm scared.
Scared? Are we scared, baby? Come on, you pickle. Come here, pickle. No pickle. It's okay. There's the vent right there, baby. See? The vent pushes the door. You're fine, okay? Be a big girl? You're scared, just remember. Baby Lenny's here, Mommy's here. We're all gonna be together in the same house. It's gonna be okay. Let's go to bed. What's wrong, Cora? What are you afraid of? You're scaring me, honey. I don't see anything.
The moment Aaliyah notices her daughter staring toward the shutters, she turns the camera in that direction and catches something remarkable. All 4 blinds snapping shut simultaneously, completely on their own. What makes it even more unsettling is what you hear when you pay close attention to the audio. It sounds like something or someone slammed them shut with force. Understandably, the two of them flee the room and spend the remainder of the night together in Mom's bedroom. The following day, Aaliyah records a follow-up video addressing those shutters, demonstrating just how difficult it would be for all 4 to close at once without someone manually turning each individual rod at the exact same moment.
Standing by the blinds in order to close them like this, and also all 4 of them closed at the exact same time. There's not electronic, it's not battery powered, that's not creepy. Trying my best not to freak out.
Then, in an eerie coincidence, the door behind Aaliyah begins moving by itself, happening at the precise moment she's explaining how the shutters operate, which feels all the more chilling given what took place the night before. But here's where things get even stranger, because she later points out a detail that makes the door moving even more difficult to rationalize.
Not on when the door closed. It's very loud. and you can hear it coming from the vent. The air vent could not have pushed this door closed in that other video because the air was not on, the AC.
Even with the air conditioning running, the door simply won't close. Her initial assumption that the AC had caused it turns out to be wrong.
There's the vent right there, baby. See?
The unit wasn't even switched on at the time, and she proves it by playing both clips side by side so you can hear the difference in sound yourself. So if the AC wasn't responsible, what exactly moved that door? Much like the shutters, there's no easy explanation. Despite how shaken she is by all of it, Aaliyah admits to feeling a strange sense of relief. Because if something is genuinely causing these disturbances, then maybe her daughter's night terrors aren't happening for no reason at all. For now, she's keeping her daughter out of that room while she figures out her next move, until she shares more updates. This remains one of those videos that just doesn't have a clear answer. As always, drop your thoughts on this one in the comments. Night after night, a neighboring woman shows up in Mandy's backyard and does things that are genuinely hard to watch. Mandy, a resident of Western Massachusetts, started posting dozens of deeply unsettling clips to TikTok, all recorded by the security cameras she has set up around her property. And the same thing keeps happening in every single one. Her neighbor, who lives just a short distance away, keeps making her way over to Mandy's house in the dead of night, wandering the grounds and acting in ways that are seriously disturbing. It eventually came out that this woman has a severe sleepwalking condition, and for no reason anyone has been able to figure out, Mandy's yard seems to be where she ends up. In the recordings, you can hear her making unsettling sounds, growling, crouching down as though she's hiding from someone, moving toward the front door, and whispering in a creepy, hollow voice, begging to be let in. Mandy has gone to her neighbor more than once, asking her to lock herself in at night or get some kind of medical attention, but those requests have gone nowhere.
So she ran up through there, and then she came behind that tree, and she ran this way. It looked like she went either behind that shed with the garage door or between the two sheds, but I'm not 100% sure. I know she ran in this direction. However, it was so far away that I couldn't tell if she actually went behind and into the woods or if she just went down the...
She's also called the police on multiple occasions, and yet the situation remains completely unresolved, and the ordeal just keeps going. November 6th, 2021. Tucked among the tall pines of Oklahoma, Ladybug Out had settled her little mobile cabin beside a glassy, mirror-smooth lake. The air carried a clean chill, the breeze was gentle, and the woods seemed to have been holding their breath just for her arrival.
Awesome night. I'm here for a couple nights, heading up north again. It's cooler by the lake here. I'm in Oklahoma, and just wanted to show you guys what I get to enjoy for the next couple days.
She passed the early evening drifting through the trees, feeling the soft cushion of fallen needles beneath her feet, drawing in the sweet resin-scented air, and letting the sound of the wind moving through the branches wash over her. Simple moments, peaceful moments, the kind that make you feel untouchable.
It smells so good. I'm so grateful. There's another camper right over there. It's a tent. They came in today. Can't believe that they are camping in this weather in a tent. I'm surprised.
Then the sirens shattered everything. Out of nowhere, tornado warnings ripped through the campground, long climbing wails cutting straight through the stillness of the night. Within moments, tent campers were sprinting for their vehicles, motorcycles were tearing out of the lot, and Ladybug Out found herself completely alone in an exposed clearing, with nothing between her and the open sky. The cabin rocked as tree limbs twisted and cracked around her. Rain came in sideways, hammering the windows. She fired up the engine and pushed hard toward the only solid structure she could make out, a concrete restroom shelter barely visible through the fury of the storm.
So, I am back here in the back. It's just raining lightly now. I drove over to where there's a concrete bathroom shelter in case sirens go off again. It's the only place that I saw that was remotely a shelter, but it seems like the worst of it has blown over, and so I feel like I'm safe. I'm just going to remain alert and awake tonight. Check the weather every so often, but it seems like the front moved by pretty quickly. That's always the part where the tornadoes form, between where the cold and the warmer air is, right at the front, and that was when the sirens went off. I looked at the radar and it was right over us. So I think it was just to alert us that there could be possible tornadoes.
It was the closest she had ever come to feeling truly in danger inside her van. A night that was supposed to bring rest turned into a desperate race against nature. One man had been living with this disturbing experience for some time. He described jolting awake in the dead of night, completely unable to move, a crushing weight pressing down on his chest, and an eerie certainty that some kind of presence was in the room with him. As the nights went on, the sensation only got worse, and he resolved to get to the bottom of what was actually going on while he lay frozen. He installed a motion-activated camera in his bedroom. What it recorded shook him to his core. In the video, as he remained completely still on the bed, a pale, ghostly shape emerged from the shadows and appeared to settle directly on top of him. When he watched the footage back, the man was absolutely horrified. He was adamant that nobody else had been in that house. There are those who argue that sleep paralysis is simply a malfunction in our REM cycle, the mind snapping awake while the body remains locked in sleep mode. But plenty of others believe something far deeper is going on. Across numerous cultures throughout history, these episodes have been attributed to what people call the sleep paralysis demon, a dark entity said to perch on your chest, sapping your energy, holding your body hostage, and at times simply staring you down. Here's the footage, and honestly, it's hard not to lean into what ancient traditions have been warning us about all along whenever someone goes through this. How else do you make sense of what you're looking at without acknowledging what those old cultures figured out long before us? You really can't, can you? Maybe that's just me going down a rabbit hole, but I want you all to get a good look at this and share your thoughts. I'll be right here waiting. Some dogs, particularly when photographed in dim conditions or mid-growl, can look almost nightmarish. The combination of camera flash eyeshine, exposed teeth, and a tense stance can turn even a household pet into something unsettling, whether they're simply startled or guarding their territory.
I'll see you later, baby.
Dogs that look intimidating often give off signals rooted in fear or a need to defend their space, and those signals deserve to be taken seriously. Walking up to one without reading the situation first can trigger a defensive response fast. The smarter move is to hang back, read their body language carefully, and give them the room they need to feel safe.
I'll see you.
Given the right angle and the right light, even an animal you know well can suddenly look like something out of a horror film. A sharp reminder of just how quickly nature's softer. Late one night, around 1 in the morning, this unsettling Ring camera footage was recorded while the homeowners slept soundly inside. Come sunrise, they were in for quite a shock. The moment they reached for their phones, a notification from the Ring app was waiting for them. Motion detected at the front door. Puzzled, they tapped the alert to see what had triggered it. What the camera had picked up stopped them cold.
Someone fixing or air color. I deploys into the field back and we can be lighted out there. Has just someone fixing or air color. I deploys into the field back and we can be lighted.
Staring back at them from the screen was a woman, though her look was anything but ordinary. Deep, dark circles shadowed her eyes, and she swayed back and forth on the doorstep, muttering something in a language neither of them could make any sense of. Shaken by the whole experience, the couple decided to post the clip on TikTok so others could see what they'd gone through. The woman never came back, thankfully, but to this day, the two of them haven't quite been able to shake what they saw. TikTok user Docs. House 23 had long suspected her home wasn't quite right, but she couldn't back it up with anything solid. Until this recording changed her mind completely. What she managed to capture on camera is genuinely unsettling. See for yourself. A small glowing orb is unmistakably drifting through the air near the couch, and the whole thing looks deeply unnatural. The moment it floats close enough, the dog perched on the sofa springs to its feet and dashes off in a panic. That on its own was already strange, but it turns out that wasn't even the most chilling part. She then pulled up her outdoor security footage, and what she found left her completely stunned. Right at the very start of the clip, that same tiny orb can be seen passing through the exterior of the house from outside. And then, almost immediately after, a tall, dark silhouette slips in through the doorway right behind it. In her caption, the woman says she's absolutely beside herself. Some kind of unknown presence, possibly a spirit or entity, had entered her home. She insists nothing remotely like this had ever occurred before. But once that orb showed up, things began spiraling. Doors swinging open on their own, objects tumbling off surfaces for no reason. Commenters are convinced this is a genuine paranormal encounter because the chain of events lines up too neatly to dismiss. Orb leads the way, shadow slips in behind, the dog reacts, and then the disturbances begin escalating. Was this a real spirit that just decided to move in? Or could there be something far darker at play? Let us know your theory down below. A woman working remotely from home notices that a brand new bicycle she recently bought keeps toppling over on its own, despite being left standing upright. At first, it seems like there could be a perfectly reasonable explanation for it, but things take a strange turn when it happens again, and she begins picking up on an odd tapping noise echoing through the house somewhere. She can't figure out where it's coming from, so she pulls out her phone and starts recording. Here's the footage she caught.
And my bike's fallen over again. It's the second time today, and it's starting to get weird. I don't even dare go down there. Okay, there's no one here. There's no one in the fucking house. No doors open, just the bike fell. Like, there's no one here, look. There's no way. It's got to stand. Look. Brand new bike. Just got it. Second time today it's fallen over. Oh, I really hope that's just the floor. Maybe you can see that. Right, so if he keeps falling over on his own, fair enough. I don't know, I'm just weirded out because it's the second time. Okay, he's done it again, but look, 3 times the fucking wheel's spinning. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't want to be near it. There's no one fucking here. I made a right bang this time. I had my door shut though. Fuck. I know there's no one here. That was spinning. Look how much it's moved. What? It was right over there. I don't understand. Oh, I don't want to touch it. The handlebars are wrapped around the other way. But if it was stood up, why would they be like that? I'm confused. I'm going to move it. There is fucking no one. I'm freaked out now. Freaked out. Right, so I've moved it. I've moved it into here, into the spare room. Nobody lives in here, but I've purposely put, so if you are a freaky bike, then there's no way that you can move, mate. So, hopefully it doesn't get blown over and I'm crazy. But
She moves the bike into a different room and wedges it firmly between several objects to make sure it can't fall on its own. But what she hears shortly after sends a chill straight through her.
thing's shaking. That's the room it's in. Oh, please tell me, please, please. I'm terrified. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you didn't. I don't want to do it. Oh, fuck! Get me out of here now! Get me out of here now! Can't do this anymore. I'm shaking. Right, fuck this. Right, the front door is in front of me to the right, and there is nothing happening right now, but I need to get the fuck out of here, so. I don't like this. I'm gonna go to my friend's house. Fuck. Ah, pray for me, pray for me. Ooh. Fuck this house.
Completely shaken by what she's just experienced, she snatches her keys and bolts for the front door to get as far away as possible. She then enlists her neighbor to come back with her and check things out, and this is what they walked in to find.
To video this just in case. I'm showing you I'm not crazy. I don't dare. We've come back. The plant pot's I'm still on the floor.
That's still down there.
I told you, it's smashed.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's pretty weird, man. But yeah.
Please check other things for me because I'm scared. Yeah, there was no one in.
You say it was just like the wall making a funny noise, or?
Well, the wall to the room where my bike is, I left my bike in there and then it just went mental and I don't know.
Right, okay. Fuck.
What?
Is this some kind of joke or something? Because this is,
It's just my bike in the bedroom.
yeah, but it's pretty messed up in here.
What the fuck are you talking about, Seth? Don't
Yeah, no,
don't mess with me because
no,
this is really.
seriously.
You know how much this has scared me though.
Yeah, but seriously, it's not. I don't
I
think
don't
this is
even
how
dare
you
go
left
in.
it. Like,
Oh, this is. Ugh. Why is I'm
I
using?
don't know what the fuck.
Oh, fuck off. Oh no.
Yeah, that's fucking.
This is the spare room, Seth. Yeah, I'm moving out. So, anybody want to buy a bike?
When she steps back into the room, it's in a state of total disarray that she simply cannot account for. The bike is fully knocked over along with several other items. She has no explanation for any of it and can only come to the conclusion that the bicycle itself is somehow cursed and has brought something into the home. This marks her first ever paranormal encounter, and she wastes absolutely no time deciding to pack up and leave, which she did within just a few days. As for what happened after that, no updates have surfaced, so we can only assume that nothing further was ever reported. The TikTok account in question belongs to a woman named Sandra. Her content is typically upbeat, full of laughs and positive energy, but following the recent loss of her mother, something shifted inside her home. Unexplained things began to unfold.
My house, my mom passed away. Like, why? I looked underneath the drawer, I looked behind it, there's nothing making it pop out. And it seems like it's when I bring up my mom that something happens. Mom? Okay, it's fucking weird.
Watch as the drawer slides open on its own, again and again, even after she pushes it shut multiple times. Some of her followers encouraged her to look inside, thinking perhaps her mother was trying to point her towards something. So Sandra decided to investigate, and what she uncovered genuinely stunned her.
Okay, let's do it. I don't know what could be in this drawer. I have my bathing suits and stuff, Halloween shorts. Then I need to put my Halloween stuff, lingerie, phone case, my Magnificent Biz, my bells are just like, I don't know, clear room or something, I don't know. A lot of ducks for my cruise. I went on a cruise last year and I left over ones. Dog's bandana, bra, what's this? That my daughter got me. So I do think that this is it, if it is anything, but I'm kind of feeling like this is. I found this note that I'm going to post on top of here from my mom. And then I listen to what this plays.
Tucked inside the drawer was an old music box, connected to a note her mother had written telling her she was loved. The discovery left Sandra completely overcome with emotion, but the story didn't end there. A viewer rewatching that original footage spotted something that even Sandra herself had missed.
Hi, babe. I was just wondering how you're feeling. Give me a call back. I love you.
The viewer pointed out what sounded like a voice in the background, so Sandra pulled up an old recording of her mother speaking and compared it to the audio from that first clip, and the result was unsettling. A soft voice, strikingly similar to her mother's, can be heard whispering the words, "I'm here." Coincidence or something beyond explanation? The raw emotion was impossible to deny. Then, just as things appeared to be calming down, another development emerged. A psychic known for connecting with those who have passed came across Sandra's video and left a comment referencing a ring. See for yourself what unfolded.
So I did not open this drawer in the video. This is what I got my mom for Christmas this year. And she wore it every day. So that's what you're talking about. Yeah, and how the heck did you know that? Like, literally. Because I'm a little shook. Wow. And if you can guess what's in this one?
It turned out Sandra had given her mother a ring some time back that matched the description the psychic had provided exactly. So after everything you've just witnessed, what's your take on what she experienced? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below, and may her mother's soul rest in peace. What you're about to see is genuinely difficult to make sense of. It comes from a YouTube channel called Welcome to the Woods UK, which, as the name implies, is dedicated to exploring the forests and woodlands scattered across Britain. The person behind the channel spends his days wild camping, practicing bushcraft, planting trail cameras, and recording whatever the wilderness throws at him. In this particular video, he's heading out after a brutal storm to check that his cameras made it through in one piece. But on his way to retrieve the first one, he comes across something that stops him dead in his tracks.
Hell of a storm coming here the last couple of days, so I'm just coming in to check the cameras, make sure they're all still okay. We've got no big trees down and all the rest of it. I have found some really bizarre tracks today. This boot print doesn't match my boot print. It does look fairly old. It is very strange and it's quite big. So it's definitely a man or someone that wears a very, very big shoe. I'll just spin you around to show you it. Look at that. That's massive. My BK2 next to it. That looks like a toe as well. There's another impression up there, but this is seriously something.
Here's where it gets interesting. The print looks like it's been sitting there a while, roughed up by the storm, yet the shape of it, particularly what seem to be toe impressions, points to someone moving through those woods completely barefoot, right in the middle of a British storm. And if you've spent any time in British weather, you'll know that's the last situation you'd want to be in without footwear. He can't let it go, so he makes a call. He's going to position one of his live trail cameras, the type that beams footage directly to his phone, right at that very spot, hoping to catch whatever left those prints.
That's all good. I've got the camera, just sitting at the base of the tree. I'm going to strap it to this part of the tree here, and I'll be able to do a 360 all the way around to keep an eye on the tracks. We're left just there and there, going through this part of the woodland. Hopefully, if this is someone that's coming in here poaching or just plain messing around, this camera should hopefully catch them, and it'll catch them whether they take the camera with them. I'll have footage of it on my phone, straight directly to my phone, permitting the signal's all good. So we are live. We've got a blue light on there. So that's showing me that's got plenty of signal. If you don't mind now, I'm going to get out of here because I've just got a really bad feeling all of a sudden. I think it just might have sketched me out a little bit. I've actually found footprints as well now after all that time has passed. Nothing else has really happened. Right. That is definitely some sort of boot print as well.
From that moment on, anything moving through that area will fire off a notification straight to him, no matter where he is, at home, tucked up in bed, or sitting on a beach somewhere. So he leaves it running and plays the waiting game. Several weeks pass, and he's back in the forest for an overnight wild camp. The camera has been quietly collecting footage the entire time, and he's ready to go through it. But that night, something unfolds that makes him seriously question his choice to be out there at all.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but sakes. 2 seconds. Hello? Seeing that the break of daylight was only an hour and a half away, I did decide to pack up and get going quite early. There was nothing more that happened that trip. I must admit I was more concerned that someone was walking around injured or out there hurt. So I did do a full sweep.
Now, a lot of you are probably already thinking it's just some animal, but here's the problem with that. There are no elk in the UK, no bears, no sizable predators roaming around producing sounds like that. So if it isn't wildlife, then it's a human being. And if it's a human being, what exactly are they doing out there in the dead of night? When he finally pulls up the trail camera footage, things take another turn entirely. 3 days after his overnight stay, the camera records something he absolutely was not prepared for.
Came on the camera one night when I was sitting in bed. I had a notification, it pinged on. And then all there was this funny little orb-looking thing up to the middle left-hand side. I eventually ripped this off as some sort of bug that had come down. So let's fast forward 3 days post-camp that you've just seen. Early Thursday morning at 4:12 AM, this figure comes into view. Almost looks like it's trying to pull something down from a branch above, acting in a peculiar manner. Then the camera takes a further 2 still shots of it moving further off to the left-hand side of the woodland. So why is this person there at that time of the morning? Why do we keep hearing these shrills and shrieks? Is it paranormal?
And frankly, neither were we. The image is grainy. The figure sits far back in the frame, but it's undeniably there. Whether it's someone who got lost, someone with bad intentions, or something else altogether is anyone's guess. But one thing is beyond dispute. Those woods are keeping a secret. Could it be a poacher? Someone living rough out there? A prankster with a thing for messing with trail cameras? Or just maybe he managed to capture footage of the legendary Bigfoot? Though if that's the case, the big fella has chosen quite the holiday destination. Drop your theories in the comments below. They come in the form of 2 gold coins. And this story comes to us by way of a guy named Tyler. He makes a habit of buying and reselling items he comes across on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. One day, while scrolling through listings online, he stumbled upon a box of miscellaneous items for sale, and among the contents was an old doll. When he reached out to the seller, things immediately got strange. The seller started turning the questions around on him. Do you have a family? Are you planning to give that doll to a child? Understandably unsettled, Tyler proceeded carefully, but he went ahead and picked up the entire box for just $5. Oddly enough, the very same day he brought it home, something felt off. He started hearing noises that made it seem like he wasn't alone in the room. That's when he grabbed his phone and hit record. Here's what he captured.
I swear this box just moved on its own. If he does it again.
The box sitting on his desk shifted on its own without anyone touching it. He cautiously moved in for a closer look, but as his gaze swept across the contents, the doll crept back toward the center on its own. He decided he'd had enough and threw the doll into his closet, out of view. But the very next morning, he started picking up on this. A loud knocking sound was coming directly from inside the closet. He approached slowly, genuinely unsure of what he'd find. When he slid the door open, the doll was right there, positioned front and center. The day after that, while he was in the middle of a gaming session, he could have sworn something was hovering around his room. He yanked off his headphones and started filming immediately.
So I'm playing video games on my desk, and I just heard the guitar play itself, and it moved, I swear. Does it again.
A guitar leaning against the keel begins sliding sideways on its own, and moments later the banging from the closet starts up all over again. Then, several hours later, while sitting in what should have been a quiet room, the sound of running water suddenly pulled his attention away.
My desk, and I just heard the water in the bathroom turn on by itself. This is the first time something's happened outside my room. So, let's continue. If you're in here, can you move the curtain again? Alright. Do you want me to leave?
The bathroom faucet had somehow turned itself on, and after shutting it off, he noticed the shower curtain shifting on its own. He looked behind it. Nobody was there. But when he asked whatever was in the room to move the curtain a second time, it responded. The curtain pushed forward as though guided by an unseen hand. These spine-chilling moments quickly became a regular part of his daily life, most often occurring when he was by himself.
So it just started knocking in the closet again. And actually the doll has moved since yesterday because it was in the corner, kind of on its back looking upwards, and now it's upright, so that's kind of scary. See if it'll knock anymore. Oh, or it'll just move the shirt in the closet. Hey, if you can hear me, just move it again. Alright. We can actually just go check it out, because there's no one in here. It's not really, it's kind of cluttered, so yesterday it was over here.
Remarkable stuff, no question about it. The curtain in the closet swept noticeably to one side, and somehow he managed to hold it together as he demonstrated that nothing visible was lurking inside. The experience left him rattled and desperate for some kind of explanation, seriously contemplating tracking down the woman who sold him that doll in the first place. Personally, I'd be skipping the investigation entirely and introducing that doll to my good friend, Mr. Fire. Madison and her brother were unwinding in the living room when they suddenly picked up on strange sounds drifting from their mom's bedroom. They grabbed their phone and hit record. What they managed to capture that night is enough to make your blood run cold.
What is that, Mom?
What?
Ma, you see this?
No.
As Madison's brother aimed the camera in the direction of their mom's room, he caught something absolutely chilling on film. The figure moved in a manner that no living person could replicate. Then, to their complete and utter horror, the dark silhouette appeared to rise up off the floor. The whole family was left shaken by what they'd just seen. But then, on a separate night, Madison found herself alone in the house and came face to face with something even more disturbing.
It's late, and I'm hearing voices in the kitchen. It's just me in here. Shite. Sounds like something's banging over my shirt.
Late at night, Madison began hearing unusual sounds coming from the direction of the kitchen. As she crept closer to investigate, a dragging, scraping noise became audible from inside the room. Without warning, the thundering sound of rapid footsteps came charging directly toward her, as though something was launching an attack. Desperate for answers and determined to make sense of it all, the family kept filming every unsettling incident as it unfolded, hoping someone out there could shed some light on what they were dealing with. Was all of this the result of some kind of supernatural presence? Or is there a logical explanation still waiting to be found? Nobody knows for certain. A paranormal investigator arrived at an abandoned house with his crew, a property left completely undisturbed since the elderly couple who owned it had died. Every surface was blanketed in dust, and the atmosphere felt strangely oppressive, like the walls themselves were waiting. While the team was getting their cameras set up in the living room, the investigator caught a sudden sharp sound echoing from somewhere deeper in the house. See what happened next.
Nu se vede nimic. Deci se aude, dar nu se vede. Mamă, frate, fii atent! Holy shit! Vai, nu mai știu să vorbesc. Nu mai pot, ce o zis?
His initial reaction was to dismiss it, figuring it was a rodent or something settling with age. But the moment he walked into that room, his gut twisted. An old window was drifting open on its own, its hinges groaning without so much as a breeze to explain it. Then, before he even had a chance to process that, a battered doll resting nearby started producing sound. Right then, he understood this wasn't going to be a routine investigation.
La jos, poți? Ia să vedem că... Oricare spirit ai afla în balcon, oricare entitate, îți ordon să dai tabloul la jos cu doamna Timea. Băga mea și pula în dracu, gata, nu ți-am plecat acasă.
Things only intensified from there. Unnatural waves of cold air swept through the space in irregular bursts, and a framed picture on the wall kept tilting over and over, as though something unseen was persistently dragging at it. After the team confirmed the house was completely empty of other people, they decided to attempt contact. The investigator asked the entity to move the frame, and it did exactly that. The exchange felt measured, even purposeful. Whatever presence occupied that house didn't appear to carry any hostility.
Haide, pula mea! Faitic, hai să plecăm, Ionuț.
It seemed more like something stuck, unable to leave. What tied it to that place, and what unresolved matter prevented it from moving on, nobody has been able to determine. To this day, the case has no answers. We kick things off with a clip posted to Facebook by a woman living in Eastern Asia. According to her, she had been waking up for weeks to find her kitchen completely wrecked. Smashed plates, overturned chairs, and destroyed belongings had started to feel like a grim daily ritual. Since all of it seemed to happen while she slept, she made the decision to plant a camera in the kitchen and find out once and for all what was behind the destruction. Here's what her camera recorded. The video opens in silence. Nothing seems out of place at first, but keep your eyes locked on the dining table. Without any warning, a spoon resting on the surface begins to lift off on its own. It hangs in midair briefly before clattering down to the floor, though things are far from over. Now shift your attention to the white plate sitting close to the table's edge. It begins creeping slowly across the surface, as though an invisible hand is nudging it along. Then, in an instant, it gets hurled violently to the ground and shatters apart. That alone would be enough to send anyone running. But sharp-eyed viewers spotted something else lurking in this footage that's easy to overlook. Let's rewind all the way back to the start. Just before anything moves, look carefully at the shadows. A faint dark shape appears to sweep quickly through the darkness, barely perceptible, yet it passes through the frame only moments before the chaos begins. So is this genuine evidence of a malevolent presence haunting her home, or simply a well-executed trick with some fishing line? That's for you to judge. In 2025, urban explorer Josh climbed aboard the derelict casino cruise ship Blue Horizon, anchored off the Florida coastline. The vessel had been left to decay since 2016 with virtually everything still on board. He showed up at 4 in the morning and sat in complete darkness waiting for the sun to rise just to get a look at the place. The ship was one of several built by Gus Boulis, designed to sail out into international waters where running a casino was perfectly legal. When the light finally came up, the whole scene looked like time had simply stopped. Roulette tables were still laid out and ready. Chips and cards were strewn across the surfaces. The whole thing felt like the passengers had walked out mid-game and never came back.
It is so windy out here. It is very rough today. You can hear that wind roaring. These are the blueprints of the boat. Look at this. Even you can even see it. All the casino tables. We're about to go downstairs where these blueprints take place. So, all right, explorers. Now, what makes this place super special is look at it. You got all the chip sets here. It's absolutely insane. The roulette table. Everything is here. Nothing is damaged. Nothing's graffiti. It's honestly beautiful. It's been sitting here abandoned since March of 2016. That's over 9 years of just decay and just forgotten about. A whole boat, a whole casino boat. It is nuts. The history is very complex and there's so much to this boat. There's mafia ties, the first people that owned it, there is so much that is involved here that we need to do a...
The further Josh pushed into the ship's interior, the harder it became to shake the feeling that something terrible had gone down there. Cash boxes had been forced open and ransacked. Storage areas that once held piles of money were flung wide open, their contents scattered across the floor as if someone had torn through in a frantic rush.
How it's left with the whole row of just rust and, you know, mold and dust. It just shows how decay it really is. Look at this. This is sick. I never played anything with this, but you got like all the balls with the numbers. They would put it in there and they would like roll it. I want to do it. I want to spin it. That's so sick. That's so cool. I love it. But yeah, this is the game I like. Oh, like cash boxes? Maybe like they go in the slot machines? I'm just guessing, but I think so. It looks like the money would come out of there, deposit out really quick. What are we seeing? Seems like there's like cars over there. Active. It's an active like yacht. Someone's living right near this place. But that wind is roaring. So you can see how dark it is too without the light. Look at that. Gotta have the light on. Oh, this was cool. This is how you were given your money. Look at that inside these tool sheds, just full of freaking money. So cool though, just to be behind all this at a casino. You'd never get to do that. Look at that. Yo, that's so sick. The casino cards with your money on it. Imagine there's like millions on here. Some like this could be a rich guy's card.
Then something brought him to a complete standstill. Music, drifting over from somewhere just beside the ship. He realized there was another vessel docked no more than 10 feet away, and it looked like somebody was actually living on it, which meant that person had likely been able to hear every move Josh made inside the blue horizon the whole time he'd been there.
I love when I see signs like this with like, you know, your history and what you know, and then you see the signs. That's so cool. It's so funny because they were literally blending in with blue, you know, blue horizons, which you see, and then they had the old Island Paradise signs above upstairs with the chairs.
Am I crazy, or do I hear music?
All right, let me check.
Like, go in there.
Oh, there is music. So it's gotta be the boat next to us. Yeah. Okay, so there is a boat right next to us, guys. Like, literally right next to us by 10 feet. That I guess people must be in right now. And we're 10 feet from them. Because listen.
He pushed on down toward the lower decks, and that's where things started to feel genuinely oppressive. The stairwells heading down were nearly vertical, more like ladders than stairs, and when he finally reached the bottom, there was nothing but the sound of water shifting against the hull in pitch blackness.
This is a straight shot down, guys. You gotta be careful. This is bringing us right into the engine room. I mean, literally straight down. Look at this. Like, it's straight down. It's like going down a ladder almost. This is nuts. I don't know. This is sketchy. Oh my god. You just hear the water. Oh, it's a ladder, bro. What's down here? Use my camera to look. Damn. It's like a submarine.
Continuing his exploration, he came across the ship's elevator shaft, and this is where the atmosphere turned truly unsettling. The elevator car wasn't aligned with any floor. It was suspended somewhere between two decks, just hanging there. Peering down into that void in a pitch-dark abandoned ship surrounded by open water was the kind of thing that gets under your skin fast.
Got Diane's bar. I love the name of it, Diane's bar. I mean, that might be Diane right there. Huge picture of Diane. I mean, dude, if that's Diane, everyone would be here at Diane's bar. It's almost reminding me of like a bowling alley bar. Something about this aesthetic reminds me of like a bowling alley. But I mean, this is pretty much all that's left here. This freaks me out right here. The elevator's not even like leveled to the floor here. It's half on. You can see it. I would never go in there. Blue Horizons, they welcome 6 people on the elevator. Good luck and enjoy. They're saying literally good luck. Since that music scares the hell out of me. Anyways, I don't want to get demonetized.
Later, while Josh was up in the captain's area poking around the old navigation equipment, something on the deck directly below him shifted. He never figured out what it was, never went down to investigate, just left it alone and moved on.
Alright, so moving forward, this was the captain's crash pad. Let's be honest, this is super cool. The start engine and stop it. The bow thrusters. What a crazy view though. Look at that. That boat right there in front, I also think is actually abandoned. I think that one's abandoned and I think the other one might be too. But that one for sure is. I think. I don't know. Either way, I'm not here for that. But this whole dock is nuts. This is a cool navigator system. I don't know too much about any of this though. Just looks like a bunch of buttons to me. But it's still epic. I like this though. Oh. Something moved down there when I did that. I'm gonna leave it. Oh, this is sick.
Throughout the entire visit, the story of the man who originally built that ship cast a long shadow over everything. After Gus Boulis sold off his casino cruise empire for close to $150 million, the new ownership brought in individuals with direct ties to the Gambino crime family and siphoned millions through fraudulent contracts. Then on February 6th, 2001, Boulis was ambushed while sitting in his car in Fort Lauderdale when a black Mustang pulled up alongside him and gunfire erupted. The men involved. It's the dead of night, and a social media user named Erin is suddenly snapped out of her sleep by a loud bang. It seems to be coming from the downstairs bathroom. She climbs out of bed and heads toward the sound to figure out what's going on. Before stepping away from the safety of her room, she makes sure to grab her phone, just in case things go sideways.
I need help. I took this video at like 2:30 this morning and I don't know what to do. Oh God, something's in the bathroom. There's no way something is not in the bathroom downstairs. So now it's almost 8 a.m. I'm not positive, but I have to imagine whatever it was is still in there. 1, what the heck could it be? 2, what do I do? Because I am not open.
Too frightened to actually turn that handle, she stops short of opening the door. But it's 2:30 in the morning, and she's got the house entirely to herself. All she can really do is ride it out until daylight. After uploading the footage to her social media, one sharp-eyed follower suggests she go around outside and peek through the bathroom window.
All right, I think whatever was in there is probably still in there, so I'm gonna see if I can figure it out from the outside. There's a window down there. And that window hopefully has the shade up. Okay. Oh, no. The shade is down. Why is the shade down? I need the shade to be...
The problem is the blind is fully drawn on that window, so there's no way to see what's going on in there. But something else in this clip deserves attention. Something Erin captured without even realizing it. Right after she says she hopes the bathroom shade is raised, viewers claim they can make out a faint voice whispering the words, "No."
And that window hopefully has the shade up.
It's not. That detail alone has sent a wave of viewers down a paranormal rabbit hole. At this stage, Erin has convinced herself it's probably just a stray animal that got trapped inside, but she's far too shaken to face it alone. So she rings her brother-in-law and asks him to come over.
Well, not quite the update I was expecting to give, but the bathroom was empty. So we couldn't get the camera under the door. We then just set up a bunch of barricades to open the door and basically route whatever it was down the hall, and had the door into the garage open and then the garage door open, thinking we could scurry it along. And my brother-in-law went in. He had all the protective gear on, and yeah, he couldn't find anything. Looked under the sink, looked in the toilet, looked behind the washer and dryer. There were really no signs of disturbance. I couldn't find claw marks anywhere on the bottom of the door. So at this point, the best guess is it was either in the heat vent, which is in the ceiling, which is up near the door, so kind of where the sound was coming from, or possibly in the ceiling or the wall. And all you people who think I need to call someone to deal with paranormal, I'm just gonna that's not, I don't think that's happening. I think it's an animal. I think it's some kind of critter. It's just, unfortunately...
When the two of them finally check the bathroom, they come up completely empty. No animal, no scratch marks anywhere on the door or the walls. Erin's best explanation is that whatever it was must have been hiding in the air vent, though some viewers think she's simply not ready to entertain the idea that something far more unsettling may have been in that bathroom. So what do you think? Was this a paranormal encounter, or just a frightened animal finding its way in? Drop your thoughts in the comments. A family purchased an older home and fully renovated it from top to bottom before settling in. But just a single month into living there, they started noticing strange sounds in the dead of night, noises that had absolutely no logical explanation. Then one particular night, while their child lay fast asleep, something utterly terrifying unfolded. See for yourself what the camera captured. It looks as though some unseen force grabbed the boy by the leg and dragged him backward, away from the bed. The child immediately burst into tears and began speaking out loud, almost as if someone was right there in the room with him, repeating, "No, I don't like it. No, I don't like it." According to the mother, the boy eventually ran straight to her bedroom and spent the rest of the night by her side. He told her there had been a frightening man standing in his room. Initially, she chalked it up to a child's overactive imagination. That all changed the moment she reviewed what the security camera had actually recorded. She's now fully convinced that the old house they moved into is haunted. So what's your take? A mother named Ebo decided to share a recording that, according to her, completely altered the course of one early morning in her household. Her son was still up that night, which on its own wasn't anything out of the ordinary. The boy is autistic and hyperactive, and losing sleep in the middle of the night is something he does regularly. The real concern is what tends to happen when he's left alone in the living room. Here's what the camera caught. Everything appeared completely normal up to that point. The house was still, the lighting was low, that familiar, quiet atmosphere of late night. Then something shifts. The boy's demeanor changes. That's the moment things stop adding up. Look carefully. The boy appears to notice something that shouldn't be there. He goes still, locked in, as though he's tracking something the footage doesn't fully reveal. And then the fear hits. He takes off running straight toward the bedroom door, desperately pleading for someone to let him in. In that moment, there's nothing that looks rehearsed about it. The panic is written all over him. He can barely get his words out. Through sobs and sheer desperation, he insists that the elf doll sitting on the living room shelf moved by itself. Now here's the detail worth paying attention to. If you slow the footage down and watch carefully, at the exact moment the boy fixes his gaze on that doll, there genuinely appears to be a faint, almost undetectable movement. Nothing dramatic, barely anything at all, but just enough to notice, and honestly, more than enough to send any kid sprinting out of the room. Ebo tries to keep herself grounded, leaning toward the idea of a draft, something logical, something with a simple explanation. But that theory runs into a problem. It was late at night. The house was completely sealed up, doors shut, windows locked, and if you watch closely, nothing else in that room stirs. Not a thing. Now pay close attention to what unfolds right after the boy flees the living room. Watch what appears in the frame. A small ball of light glides across the screen. Quick, soundless, the kind of thing many people refer to as an orb. For those familiar with cases like this one, that tends to raise a lot of eyebrows. For others, it's probably just dust, a lens reflection, the kind of artifact that shows up in nighttime recordings all the time. But the timing of its appearance is hard to dismiss, particularly given everything that unfolded just moments before. Ebo says she doesn't believe in the paranormal and does her best to stay skeptical. Even still, her son's terror is difficult to brush aside. Children, especially those who are more sensitive to their surroundings, often pick up on shifts in their environment in ways that adults simply don't. In the end, no clear explanation was ever found. The doll is still on that shelf. The house hasn't changed. But that early morning left behind a question that refuses to go away, and what you make of it is entirely your call. A Reddit user going by the name illdiscipline3142 uploaded some seriously unsettling footage to the ghost subreddit a few weeks back, and it quickly had people losing their minds in the comments. Here's why. The video was captured by a motion-activated camera in a neighbor's backyard sometime in 2020. Make sure you're watching closely right from the beginning, because it happens fast. Without any warning, a tall, ominous shape moves through the frame before vanishing into the darkness, never appearing again. The person who posted it added some deeply unsettling background information, writing, quote, "The camera was placed towards the back end of the property. Directly in front of the camera is a massive 10,000+ acre forest, meaning this creature would be walking towards the street from the forest at 2:39 a.m. with zero lights guiding it," end quote. They also explained that the camera kept picking up strange noises for roughly 30 seconds after the figure had gone. Using the camera's mounting height of about 10 feet as a reference point, they calculated the figure must have stood over 9 feet tall. The uploader stressed that the video had not been altered in any way, and pointed out that whatever it was seemed to be moving at an unnervingly unhurried pace. They also noted the area is largely restricted, with almost no hunters or nighttime foot traffic, which only makes the whole thing harder to rationalize. The sheer size of what appears in the clip is perhaps the most disturbing element. If that height estimate holds up, the thing that passed in front of that camera dwarfs any wildlife known to inhabit the area. Some skeptics argue it might just be a person viewed from a strange angle, or a distortion created by the infrared lens. Others have floated the idea of a prank or someone in a costume, though the sluggish movement and the audio captured afterward don't make that theory easy to swallow. Whether it's an optical illusion, an elaborate hoax, or something genuinely unknown that wandered out of that massive forest, one thing is hard to argue with. Once you've watched it, it's not easy to shake.